Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey, Wade, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, man, when you look at cars like this and you say, wow, Chevelle SuperSport, how do I get myself in one of those cars? Well, you know what? I want to be the one that helps you get that, because when you think about maybe back in the 70s or whatever, maybe you rode around in one of these, maybe in the 80s, and then they started to continue to go up in value. This car here, first off, 396, 4-speed Chevelle, right? Convertible, with a couple nice features. Cowl induction hood with the flapper. The SuperSport hood was just a domed hood. This right here was a significant upgrade, which allowed cold air to hit here, come inside this flapper when you step on the gas. So when you start the car, it comes down to here. When you step on the gas, this opens up, and the air would hit there, go inside here into a special air cleaner that took nice cold air from the outside instead of breathing in the hot engine air that's in there. We got the hood pins on the front, which you know I love hood pins, as I said before. When you guys check me out and at my services, you're going to see in my casket, I'm going to put some hood pins. I'm going to be there for a while, so I might as well get them, right? All right, so the factory stock wheels around here. Now this has a significant upgrade to it, and we can fix that if you don't like it. So hear me out for a second. We put this in for the previous client. We trade these cars in all the time. People drive them for a year, upgrade them, have some fun with them, trade it back in, get something else. This client had us put in a 6-speed transmission in it, so this has some serious snappy acceleration, as well as being able to cruise all day long on the highway, 75, 85 miles an hour. Not that I would ever condone going over the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, but just in case you wanted to. All right, so let's talk about Cranberry Red paint, because that really is one of the greatest Chevelle colors out there. So although you can read this, I want you to really look at the letters. The letters there are super crisp, right? And the reason they're super crisp is because this car has been painted well, it's been wet sanded, it's been buffed, but the most important part is the detail work underneath the paint has been done. And that's where real great paint work is done. If you've ever painted at home and you kind of rushed a job and filled a hole and went ahead and didn't sand it, let it dry properly, it maybe swelled a little bit, then you paint it over and you can still see it, you're like, oh, right? And you got to go back and do that. That's what happens when people rush things. In this case here, that's not what happened. Somebody spent some time working on the car. Look at the body lines of this car and the gaps and the fit and things like that, and it looks really good. Not to mention, okay, that you can't even feel the stripes on the car. That means that they painted this base coat on here first, wet sanded, got nice and smooth, laid on the black stripes, wet sanded so it was nice and smooth, and then cleared the whole car over so you can wash and wax this car as much as you want without worrying about tearing the corners and edges of the stripes, all right? I don't know, have I mentioned the hood pins yet? Anyway, so we keep walking around, all right? And little stuff, and you say, well, Tone, I don't really understand all this little stuff you talk about. Well, the reason I bring up the little stuff is because we do all of this work here, and I have to buy all of these parts. So when I buy new headlight trim rings, and I buy new bumpers, and I buy the right screws that aren't rusty, and they're zinc coated. You say, well, big deal, like how much is that? You're right, how much is that? Nothing, right? It's maybe a couple bucks, whatever, but it's all the little detail stuff that goes around the car. Like, for instance, the carpet was a little faded, and that's what happens on these cars. It wasn't bad, it was just faded because it was convertible and they had the top down. I put new carpet in it. I put new carpet in it because you know what? The car deserved it and it looked really good, all right? Keep on rolling with me, please. All right? Convertibles tend to be saggy doors and things like that. Not here, and one of the reasons why is because this is a full frame car. So the frame underneath is very different than it is in, say, a Camaro or a Nova or even some of the Chrysler products, Ford products as well. These have a full frame underneath and the body is put on top. That's why maybe you've heard the word frame off restoration. Well, you can't have a frame off restoration on a Mopar because the Mopar's frame is buried inside the body. This you can. That gives you, and that's why looking underneath this car, it looks so great, and you should definitely check it out. All right, keep on rolling with me for a second if you don't mind. Back here we come, we got the bumper pad with the SS call out, the correct SuperSport tips on there, all right? The stripes are done like they're supposed to be. They're clear coated as well. And then if we could take a quick peek underneath here, all nicely detailed, as well as new gas tank and the F41 suspension. The exhaust system isn't black and the gas tank black and the rear end black and the shocks black. The shocks are red, the exhaust is silver, the gas tank is nice and aluminum looking, the tank straps are black. It's the detail stuff that when you go to a car show or something like that, it looks great. But even if you don't go to a car show and you don't care about those things, what it does do is gives you a great ride in the car. That means somebody spent the detail underneath the car to make the car ride well. The car doesn't ride well and drive well because the paint is shiny. The car rides, drives, and runs well because of everything that goes on underneath of it, and that's why I show you that kind of detail stuff. All right, so come on in here, and we'll go ahead and we'll, there's a little bit of dust in here, sorry, we left a little bit of dust in here. Let me get that out of there. I'll put it in my pocket. Okay. All right. So this is nicely detailed. Spare tire, spare wheel, jack parts. You say, well, BFD, that it has a jack and a spare tire. Well, I can tell you that 99% of the cars we get don't have a jack and a spare tire in them 40 and 50 years later. The fact that that's in there is really nice. New weather stripping, correct splatter paint here, okay? Jacking instructions, all right? Letting you know about the Posi-trac rear differential if a car was to have it. The jacking instructions right there for how everything works. We just have that well coming as well. So as we're doing these videos, sometimes we do them a little bit early, like the mats haven't arrived yet for the car, but I wanted to get the car out there online so that you could see it, just in case this is exactly what you're looking for, as well as if you want to make a couple changes along the way while we're finishing it up, you can do that too. All right, so I'm in a happy place Colin has reminded me of right now, because you know what I like to do? I like to do this. I just like to take them on and off. All day, man. This is so cool. Come on, seriously? Like you're driving your Mini Cooper to work, which is an awesome little car to drive. You're not taking hood pins off. You're driving your Range Rover Sport with your supercharger on there, another great car, right? You're not taking your hood pins off, but your SuperSport Chevelle, you're taking your hood pins off. All right, so come on in here, let's check out that. So how do we get all of this to function properly? While we're finishing up the detail here, there's a solenoid, all right, for the flapper door, all right? Vacuum pot so it operates correctly, as well as the correct air cleaner, which seals around here and then gives you that nice cold air that you're looking for. Detailed engine compartment here as well. We have the correct battery and battery topper coming, so we can finalize that for you, all right? And as you look around, you go, wow, that's really nice. So some little things that you may not have asked about, because these are not standard features on these cars. If you got a SuperSport, you got disc brakes, but you didn't get power disc brakes. Let me tell you what, disc brakes are great, but they're like standing on wood. They're not much different than drum brakes. They just allow you to have some big, heavy stops a couple times. Here we have power disc brakes. Power steering, not standard on these cars, right? Power steering is here as well. Anyway, I'd like you to see that stuff just so you can see that you're getting something more than just a beautiful Chevelle. You're getting a great driving Chevelle as well. All right, so come on in here. I love the sound of that, man. Just sounds really nice. So for instance, like inside here, there's some great stuff in here I want to show you. I told you the mats were coming because we ordered new carpet. I wanted the matching mats as well. But this has the kick panel speakers built in down here. That's a nice little feature. You don't have to drill holes and cut holes because this only has one centered speaker there. This allows that to happen in there. We made this plate for the 6-speed transmission with its cool 6-speed knob. It's really, I mean, a wonderful, wonderful gearbox, all right? You know, this, some of these things are not standard. A factory tach is not standard in these cars. That's an option. That's really nice, all right? And this has the original AM/FM style stereo in there, all right? If you wanted to, you could check this out. Whoa, how'd that get there? Custom sound system buried inside the car, digital, stream it from your phone, as well as a USB cable or satellite, Bluetooth, all those kind of good things that would help you realize whatever kind of music you want to put on, whatever you're feeling like that day. I don't know if you're in the country that day, maybe some Metallica that day, maybe some Celine Dion that day. Sometimes when I dress frilly in some clothes, I like Celine Dion. Other days I like Metallica because I'm just driving fast and I'm rolling through my 6-speed and I'm rolling down the road. If the 6-speed bothers you and you want to have a stock looking Chevelle SuperSport that you can take to shows and things like that, two choices. One, we can convert this back to a 4-speed, all right? Two, I can fix this so it looks stock and put a 4-speed knob on there so no one else would know except you.